All right, we are live. Hello, everybody. Oh, and we got 2 minutes to spare. You know, I get happy when technology works in our favor. So join us and share this out with someone. You've got a moment or two to share this out. I have already done so. We are now on my personal Facebook page, our public Real Women Rock page, and our YouTube channel for Real Women Rock. And we want to say hello and ask you if you've shared this with anyone yet. I see you all coming in. Come on in and say hello to me. Let me know that you are here. Make my heart glad by saying something to me. Let me know where you are tuning in from. I would love to say hello back to you. My name is Trenace Richardson, and I am the founder of Real Women Rock because we do. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, and we exist to create safe spaces for women to do personal development work on themselves. And we do that through virtual and live sister circles. Of course, we have been doing virtual sister circles for a while now, but we are looking forward we're seeing some light at the end of the tunnel. So we will get back to our in-person sister circles, and we'll probably do a hybrid for a while once we get back there. But for now, we still host virtual sister circles every month so that any woman from across the world, not just this country, but the globe, can join us. We vary the Saturday mornings because we want to make sure that the topic and the facilitator, whether it's me or one of our expert facilitators, are able to do it. So we advertise on our website at realwomenrock.org. If you'd like to find out more information about who we are, what we do, and what services we provide, we would love for you to check us out at realwomenrock.org. We are here now because every Thursday night that we have a guest, we bring you a sneak peek into a real conversation with real women. And we say a sneak peek because we are only up here for a good, 25, 30 minutes total, because we just want to give you a nugget, just a bite size of a conversation, to just pull you in, draw you into our monthly sister circles and to our website. And we have had some amazing women. If you want to go back to our Facebook page, Real Women Rock, or our YouTube page, you can find all of the past chats that we've had. And tonight will be no different. So make sure that you share this out. Listen, let me tell you, the topic is, should Christians strive to be rich? And I just think this is going to be enough of a topic for us to have a conversation. Remember, this is not just a one-way conversation with me and our guests talking. It will be broader than that, where we want you to participate as well. So please share your thoughts in the chat. All right, I am ready to bring on our guest. I am so pleased to have her with me right now. Let me get on Dr. Stevie Mills. Yes, she's on the screen. I am so thrilled to have you, ma'am. Not only are you coaching women, and you founded an amazing, growing like crazy group called Christian Women Building Big Businesses, but you are helping people, you are helping women earn money while still maintaining their integrity. And I absolutely love the work that you do. We've been in a lot of spaces together, but we wanted to talk about this topic with you: should Christians strive to be rich? Before we go there, would you mind just saying hello to everybody and maybe describing in your own words the work that you do?
Hello. Thank you so much, Dr. Trenace, for allowing me to be here. I am Dr. Stevie, and I really spend my days helping women who are business owners to create an online business that honors their values so that they can create a life they love. And most recently, I also am the author of a book called Click the Cash. So
well,
secrets in it about how I made 6 figures last year in the midst of the pandemic.
Wow. Say that again, Dr. Stevie.
Yes.
Somebody needs to hear that you made six figures in the middle of a pandemic.
That is amazing. Last year, I made over $100,000 last year, and most of it was between the months of May and December. And so, yeah, I realized that, people can do it because I did.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get to that question. If somebody wants to know how that happened or how she would suggest that happens, put that question in the chat. So I'll know someone is interested. And whether you are watching live or on the replay, please put that question. If you want to know how did you do it? Put it in the chat and we'll come back to that question. I want to make sure that we talk about kind of what led you to this work. But before we get into that, I want you all to not only ask us how she did and how she is doing the amazing work that she's about to talk about, but we want to dig into the question with you all. So go ahead and start putting in the chat, whether you're live or on the replay. Should Christians strive to be rich? I know we got some stuff we could say about it on either side, so we want to hear what you have to say. But what got you, Dr. Stevie, into even the idea of click to cash and Christian women building big businesses? How did you get into this work?
Oh my goodness. So I started my business in a place where, I live in a city with a borough on the end of it. And I always joke that my pastor said, if you live in a ville or a borough, you live in a small place. So when I started my business, I started it just expanding anyway, offline online into the people. And I didn't really concentrate on my city. And so what happened was in the midst of the pandemic last year, everybody was trying to learn how to monetize online because, speakers couldn't have speaking engagements, events were canceled, all kinds of things happened. And so I just literally said, I can help you get this done because I've been doing it. I've been doing this work for a while. And that's when the big boom happened for me. So, as devastating as the pandemic has been, because we're still in it, but it's been something where I was like, okay, let's get this together and let's help some women win.
Yeah, I love that. It says a couple of things. You saw a need, right? You saw a need and you decided to meet that need. And you were an answer to someone's question in that moment. And not only did it provide a service to them, but it was reciprocal in that they were able to, on whatever level, invest in the knowledge and the nuggets that you provided. And as a result, you were able to flourish during that time period. I love the reciprocity in that. In that growth is amazing. I love that you were doing it in service of others in a moment where there was a need to be met. I had a similar experience in that when the pandemic first started, I realized that people did not know how to facilitate spaces in a healthy way to make a connection with for me, it's women, right? Because that's my target market. And I host sister circles. And we've always done virtual sister circles. We've just done them with our all access members. So to be able to connect with people in a meaningful way through the airwaves or through video, that kind of thing. So I created a course about virtual facilitators. And so that they, would have some tips on how to connect in a real authentic way with folks that you're online with. So I love it. I love it. You see a need, you meet a need.
Yeah.
We did get some how did you do it? So hopefully that helped you all, that she literally saw a need and decided to say, I can help you with this. I know that this is happening out here, and we'll talk some more about that. But this time goes by so fast. I want to, and someone is saying hello to you as well.
I think that is one of my ambassadors. So
that is awesome.
Another stream of income.
Yes, that's right. Invite your tribe to come. Thank you for that. So this is the question, y'all. We want you to talk to us as we share with you. Should Christians strive to be rich? And I'm assuming that your answer to this would possibly be yes, because you started a group called Christian Women Building Big Businesses. And I know, there's some thoughts on both sides about this, but let's just start there. What are your thoughts about whether Christians should strive to be rich.
Awesome. And hello, Brenda. That's another one of my clients.
Yeah. That's awesome. They are showing up for you.
Yay. When I look at the word strive, because I'm a dictionary girl,
I love it.
I looked at it and I'll say it like this. The dictionary says make great efforts to achieve or obtain something. So I do think you should strive in that aspect. But guess what? It's another definition that says struggle or fight vigorously. Now, I don't believe that making money should be a struggle. I don't believe that making money takes all day. I tell people all the time, my clients, I'm like, making money does not take all day. So, and it does not have to be a struggle. So I think the language of that is interesting. Like strive, yes, you should go forth and you should do something. I believe in taking action, but striving and having to make it hard, because guess what? God has given us everything we need. I tell people all the time, if I never get another client, which I pray that I do because I love helping people, but if I never do, God is still giving me everything that I need according to his riches and glory. So I don't have to strive necessarily, the second definition, but I do have to move forward in action. So I think that is, you know, we have to think about it. And I love this question. I've been thinking about this all day long. And I'm like, should I? And I was like, let me look this up, because strive is such a powerful word. And then I think we have to define rich. Like, that's the other thing too. Like, are we living a rich and fulfilled life? Are we thinking money? What are we thinking? Because my whole thing, and I talked about the values, I love fun, freedom, and flexibility. The money is added, but when I went for fun, freedom, and flexibility and made my business my own, that's when all the things were added to it, which is in the Word of God. So, you know, we have to look at what this actually means, because some people have thoughts and definitions of, should they go hard? I'm actually, it's interesting. I'm coming out with, this is my 24th book. I'll be coming out with a book real soon that's called Ultimate Hustler. And I'm like, that word hustle is just something about, and it's a collaboration. I'm like, yes, you should hustle, meaning you should be in action, but you should not feel like if you are not in action, especially in the pandemic, all we can do is all we can do, right? So if we're striving, if we're hustling, then these are words with heavy connotations. So, and there are double meanings to these words. So I think you have to make it personal for yourself and say, I'm striving towards my goal, yes, but I'm not going to work vigorously to get it. I'm going to be in peace and in flow and in rest and get to the goal.
Yeah, that is so good and balanced. And let me tell you how powerful that is. And I'm still, if you guys have some thoughts, I will lift up your thoughts about your answers. Should Christians strive to be rich? And maybe you have some nuance to your answer as well. So feel free to put that in the chat. But you made me think about, and I did word it like that intentionally, the word strive and the word rich, because I saw it very similar to you, that it has depth to it and complexity. But I also thought about it, for example, the difference between us being able to say, you know, God allows, it's warranted. It's not prohibited. It's not something we shouldn't have. There's a difference between owning the responsibility and knowing that it's a part of our inheritance to do well, versus really just conniving and focusing on it in a very greedy and unhealthy and envious and competitive way, where we're scratching and clawing at other people in order to get to it. So strive, I agree with you, could be that struggle and that fight, not just in life and for ourselves, but it could be against other people if we allow it to be. But resting in the fact that we have a right to an inheritance, I believe is maybe a good posture as it relates to the striving. So I love that you said that. And then the whole piece about, what does rich mean to you? What does success mean to you? What does wealth mean to you? And the fact that you said fun, flexibility, and freedom. I love those. Freedom is my word, girl. So I love those. Thank you for that nuance. And so we got some folks in the chat that said, God's desire is that we prosper and be in good health. That sounds like Bible to me. So if you're a Christian, and then God gives us the power to get wealth, according to a scripture Brenda says. So we see some here who are telling us and sharing with us some very positive spins on Christians striving to be wealthy. I just want to play angel's advocate for a minute, since we are all Christians.
Yes, ma'am.
And just go ahead and throw it out there, right? Because we have seen Christians flaunt their wealth. We have seen, ministers who live better than their congregants. We've seen Christians who you can't really tell from their lifestyle and how much they are acquiring without necessarily knowing anything about or seeing anything about what kind of giver they are. We see a lot now, more than ever before, because of social media. And it sometimes does not put rich Christians in a good light, monetary rich Christians in a good light. Some would even say that many people have become rich and materially, financially, and have lost their soul wealth, as my one of my big sisters and mentors would say, has lost their capacity to be wealthy spiritually. And so I'm wondering what your thoughts are about what we're seeing in the world related to prosperous and rich Christians, and maybe even prosperity ministry, the idea that it's out here so prevalent that sometimes it has a negative connotation.
Yes, I definitely agree. I think that's a mindset, though, from the person viewing it, because all of us have money mindsets, right? Mm-hmm. And so in the fact that somebody is seeing it like that, I would want to talk to them about what their money mindset is, because we have really glamorized being poor as Christians in this world and giving all the stuff and doing all the stuff. But at the end of the day, this is where we're supposed to live as Christians. So the fact that we glamorize other people like rappers, athletes, people who have that type of money, and we don't say that, oh, well, this Christian person is doing it, when God has given us, like they said, the opportunity to have wealth, then it's like, what do you really believe? And for me, the last couple of days, I've been really saying, I don't know that all the Christians, which is another thing too, I don't know if all the Christians are the best examples, because their thoughts on what Christianity is and how we should be is twisted to me. Like, we're not believing the Bible for what it is, because we're not saying these things. Like, we're saying, like, God never said be poor. Where did that come from?
Right.
But now we want to demonize pastors. And
well, let me add to that, Dr. Stevie, because you just made me think about the two polar extremes, right? So on one end, there are some folks who, it's harder for a rich man to get into heaven than for a camel to go through the eye of a needle. And so there's this thought process on one end that as soon as you start acquiring money, you become uppity, you become prideful, you become boastful, you become arrogant. All of these things come along with money to some people. And then the other side of it, maybe prosperity ministry, is the idea, or prosperity mindset, as you so aptly put it, just the money mindset, is that we should have. And so, and I'm going to acquire as much as I can. I personally think there's like this place somewhere in the middle that isn't one or the other necessarily, but what it's saying is the more I acquire, the more I have an opportunity to be a blessing and to serve. I can't even help the amount of people I want to help if I'm broke. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't help people broke. Like, so at least from the perspective, if you are all about, as a Christian, service and helping other people and, feeding the poor and all these kinds of things that we say are at the crux of following Jesus and being a Christ follower and being like Jesus, then we're going to have resources to do that. Mm-hmm. So I love that you said money mindset. Any thoughts about that?
I definitely agree. One thing we do every month in my business is to donate back to our organization. So, I can't do that from a place. I couldn't do that 4 years ago when I was evicted from my home, because I couldn't figure out how to make $800 in 30 days. Right. And so, now because I have more resources, then I could do that. Even, I'm doing fundraisers with my book as well for organizations, because I really want to break the statistic that says that Black women normally make around $24,000 inside of a year in their business, whereas our counterparts make over $100,000 a year. And the statistic that says people who make six figures it's only like less than 11% of the population. So the fact that people are out here being broke, to me, that's the real atrocity. Like, that's the real thing, because it's like, what are we doing? And God has already given us everything we need inside of us. We literally have to show up and tell people about it. So I think that, church, that's why, like, when you look at the old church or some churches now with the building funds and the fish plates and all that, we can't move further. And one of the things that I did inside of the pandemic too was, when I hit the money I hit, it was like, let me give back to ministry. And I've given to churches in that too, because when the church is closed, tithes are normally closed because people are shipping money in the church. And so, we got to think about this. What are we really standing for? And are we using that scripture? Are we twisting the scripture to make ourselves feel better because we're not making the money we need to make?
Yeah, that's so good. You also, with this concept of, and I'm just going to put it back up here for a second. You said all of us have a money mindset. When we talk about that idea of money mindset, really understanding what ours is really the first step in understanding where we are as it relates to our financial status, right? Because we could think, I'm working every day, I'm making money, but it seems like, as soon as I get it, it's gone. It's like a hole in my pocket. There's a what's happening behind that. There's a why behind that. There's a story and a history behind that I think gets to our money mindset. And I'll speak for me and say, I would describe mine. I have described mine before. This new season of life for me was a scarcity mindset. I really felt like I have to hold on to what I have. I can't be as generous. And me keeping my hands closed like this did not leave room for me to take risks, to do more, to try more. I was really just a safe person. I believe financial literacy is capped in some of our communities. Like, we don't even know what's up here as it relates to what's available to us financially, because all the information we have been exposed to is just this little bit right here. Maybe a banking account, maybe a checking account, and nothing else. And so that scarcity mindset is really real. I don't know where you are, or I'm sure you're in more of an abundance mindset now, but have you personally experienced sort of a scarcity mindset at any point?
Yeah. I mean, just because I made the money I made, I'm still in a point of my life where I have to believe bigger, right? So I'm looking at stuff like, Lord, I was looking at something today. I'm like, Lord, I need to downsize this stuff. This is crazy. The amount of money I'm investing. And that's another thing. Like, even now, I don't even think about like certain stuff in my business as spending. I've had to change my language to investing because it's an investment. But I think we all have been there, because I know I wasn't necessarily raised around, with a silver spoon in my mouth. I had to work for the things that I wanted. And the fact that, it's like, I've been evicted before. I've had repossessions before. And so when you have those type of things in your mind, and it's created a thought pattern, then it's like, this every month is like, okay, Lord, okay.
No joke, right?
Yeah.
The bills come every month. There might have been some small reprieves during COVID for some, but not many, and they come right back around. I want you, because this time goes by so fast, I want you to talk a little bit about your Facebook group, Christian Women Building Big Businesses. And while you're doing that, if you can go back to this question of maybe how you did it, more so how others, what advice would you have for those who are seeking to do what you did? What would you tell them to do? And maybe tie that into the group that you have.
Awesome. Yes. So I definitely would say go to clickthecashnow.com and get this book. And I would say that not even trying to sell the book, but because it's literally my blueprint. It's literally my blueprint of how I made the money I made. And the Christian Women Building Big Businesses is a offshoot of this whole thing, really. And so it's Click the Cash on Clubhouse. We have a club on Clubhouse. But Christian Women Building Big Businesses is the space where last year we just started, and it's funny, God is growing it tremendously, because I remember last year around this time it was like 300 women. Now we have like 2,800 women there, and it's literally a space where we just, you know, talk about business, we talk about life, we talk about being empowered. So many people are there connecting and doing other things. So literally we're holding space for that to happen. And I wanted to name it Christian Women Building Big Businesses to be very clear that yes, we're going to pray in here some days. Yes, we're going to talk about Jesus. It is for Christian women. However, if you're not a Christian, then, and you resonate with the group, because for me, Christ is about relationship. It's not about religion. Then you could come in there and have fun with us too, and just really connect with the women who are powerful all around the world. So I just love creating spaces for women to be who they are.
I love that. And I am putting in the chat right now, I am making it available to everybody that if you go to clicktocashnow.com, that's what it is, right, Dr. Stevie?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I got you.
Thank you.
So I will put that on the screen in a second. Our time flies. I'm telling you, this has been so good. What is this the first place? This is where you would like for us to go first before anywhere else. Do you have anything coming up that you'd like for us to know about? Anything else that you think would benefit our audience as we move forward?
I am super excited that we actually are, I'm teaching like a 5-hour intensive on June 4th. That's going to be all about how to become a highly visible and paid influencer. Because it's one thing, yay! I am mailing it out tomorrow. So if y'all want to get the book, listen, I'm mailing all books out tomorrow.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so highly visible and paid influencer intensive is for those women like all of you who have a word, who have a message, who have a platform and just don't know how to monetize it, right? I really am dedicated to women making money this year. I'm really dedicated to breaking these statistics. So that's going to be on June 4th. It's going to be a deep dive on what it takes to develop the mentality of an influencer and what it takes to do the work. Because it is some work that you have to do before you can just hop up on there and say, y'all see me. Y'all see me. Because a lot of women are not confident in the fact that they need to be the spotlight person. And sometimes it could be uncomfortable. So that link is influencesomebody.com, influencesomebody.com. Because we want y'all.
I like that title, influencesomebody.com.
Yes, God be dropping names to me.
Yeah, it's not a whole lot of ways you can say this stuff. It's being said over and over again, you know, in different ways by different people. But I haven't heard that. I like that.
Yes.
That's awesome. Listen, this has been great. I think we have at least addressed, this is just a sneak peek, so we couldn't do it all, but we have addressed the fact that we believe that from the right posture, from the right mindset, that a Christian, a Christian can feel warranted and within their inheritance and their right to be rich, to earn money, to make money, to have wealth, and that rich and wealth means more than just money. I think those are the things that I heard you lift up the most. And that, you know, there's a flip side to this, that if we're scraping and clawing and you know, crabs in a bucket and all that kind of stuff, then it really doesn't matter how much money you have, because you're not so rich. So this has been amazing. Thank you so much. Yay!
I'm super excited. Thank you for this amazing platform. It has been amazing. I do believe that real women rock. I do believe that. I know that it is amazing because we do, right?
Yeah.
We do. And I love the real women because that's a whole different lesson right there, y'all. So thank you, Dr. Trinace, for your space and just allowing us to have this conversation today.
Thank you so much. And you're right. There's a difference. The difference is the level of authenticity. The more authentic we are, the more real we are, the more we rock. So I really appreciate it. Thank you, Vera. Thank you all for joining us. Whether you are here live or you are in the replay, please share this out with someone. Someone just needs some confirmation that they are not striving for something ungodly. They are not striving for something that God wouldn't be pleased with when they're trying to earn money to take care of themselves. And more often when our cup overflows, we're able to help other people. And so please share this out with someone so that they can be encouraged by it. We are here every Thursday evening that we have a guest at 8 p.m. Eastern. And we will see you next week with another guest. Don't forget to go to realwomenrock.org. Again, realwomenrock.org so that you can find out more about us. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, so we are good ground if you decide to help us continue the work that we do with our virtual circles as well as our annual intensive. We would love to have your support. Talk to y'all later. Great show. Thank you so much. Take care.